And then, perfect. All right, let's call the meeting to order at 8:44. And could somebody lead on the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So first thing on the agenda is the roll call, and let's see if I can see who's there. I see Michelle. I see me. I don't see Gary. Is Gary not there?
No. Nope.
Okay. Chelsea, I thought I saw.
Hello.
Hi. The TBD from the village. Is TBD there? Okay. Yeah, Joe.
No, we don't
What
have
about
any-
Brian?
No.
I don't see Brian. Thank you for doing that. Rick is on with us. Matt is there. Sherry?
No.
No. Okay, so that's attendance. Um, are there any adjustments to the minutes from last month, or if not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve if I can, since I'm distant.
You can. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, I have amended the agenda to talk about our grant calendar and Pierport Beach property under new business at the very end. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to adjust on the agenda? Okay, is there anybody that wants to make a public comment? Do we have any public?
No.
Okay, and then the only correspondence that I have was Langland webcam call, and honestly, I don't recall what that is. Michelle, do you recall what that is?
No. Was it Langland what?
Webcam call. Well, that's an example of my helter-skelter notes that.
Oh, maybe like you were gonna call about getting a webcam at Langland?
Well, I mean, they're in the.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's exactly, okay.
So that's the kind of, hey, I write the exact same kind of notes you do, Vic.
Okay, now. that
Ones
you
But it
that
say-
worked.
They need interpreting.
A very cute story. I think I shared it with a couple of you already. I did get a phone call. And there was a young man asking me if we had webcams at the beach. And I didn't know what to make of it. And then he explained that he had proposed to his girlfriend on the beach and was actually hoping that we had webcams to have caught it on camera. But we do not. And so he was disappointed. But he did say.
Probably should have reached out before the proposal.
Yeah,
I did ask him.
welcome Joe Nakama.
She did say yes. And so all good news there. That's what that was. Thank you for bringing that.
Lucky you have cell service, you know what I mean? It's like-
Yeah, that's what I felt.
On the beach, I got SOS. Might not be a bad idea to think about a camera out at Langland though.
We've talked about it, but
Yeah.
So
The
let's,
only
yeah, let's
problem
talk,
is
let's,
there's almost no service there. I don't know if it would work off of, cell. I have, like Verizon or something, and I have like either one bar or SOS only at the beach. And I don't know how that is other, if Alltel's different or whatever.
Well, I think too, like you think of like the cellular trail cams, they have more reception than.
Oh, cause they got a big antenna.
Yeah. So I wonder if,
put it
like-
on top of the.
Like if you
light
had a
post.
light pole just shining out at the pier, then you can always check the weather out at Langland, see how busy
Yeah,
it
ooh,
is.
weather station, Langland Weather Station.
It would be very popular.
Yeah.
But Vic, didn't you look into that?
so, yeah, Ed Bradford has mentioned, on a couple of occasions that the most visited site on the Manistee, Manistee website is their camera at the beach. And here's a thought for the group. If we did this, and you can do anything with money. If we did this, and put it on the website within Parks and Rec,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it is as popular as the Manistee one is. We could really begin to build traffic towards our site. And if you look at, and if you put it strategically on the left side, they got to read through everything else to go to the trail
Right.
cam.
In order to get to the camera, you gotta take our survey.
Well, but the point is it might drive traffic. And if you looked at
Yeah.
our survey, our site is in third place in terms of how you get information behind the Facebook and then word of mouth. So anyway, I think it's an interesting subject that we should include in our discussions for the budget, because I like the idea as well. Okay, prior month assignments, I'm going to go through them real quickly. Uh, I asked about the updating of the website so I can update content. They said they're working on it, but we're not there yet. Michelle, you're working with Gene to draft the types and roles for Parks and Rec website. So that's the volunteer thing. And I really want to put that there because I'd like to start drumming some up. So, if we can get that in the next couple of months, that'd be great. I have a note, Gene Tyler and Brian support organized voluntary barberry removal plants, coordinating with local schools. That came up in last month's discussion about invasive species. Should I put a date on this? I mean, it just flows in the assignments, but should I put a date on this and we'll get back to it at a certain time? Tyler, I really think that question is to you and I think Gene as well.
I'm just trying to find it on the
It's not
agenda.
on the agenda.
No, I'm going through the next steps and assignments.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
Uh,
I can print those off. I can print them off if we need them.
well, either that or I'll just go through them and I'll make some notes and send them out to everybody when I send the meeting minutes out. So,
Well, then go ahead and repeat that one because I was distracted trying to find it on the agenda.
okay. So this was in last month's discussion about invasive species. A few items were added to the list. One of them had Gene, Tyler, and Brian's name on it, and it was to support/organize volunteer barberry removal events coordinating with local schools as appropriate. Remember, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is if we are going to go forward with something like that, what month should I put it in and make it an agenda item so that we follow up with enough time?
Well, I would say we try to time it with when and if we have a Japanese barberry dumpster at the Conservation District office this year. That way we have a place to dispose of any plant. But I don't think, let me check
We have
our,
a burn party where we burn them all.
we could do that. They, Onekama. Why I can't think of the word for burning a fire.
Bonfire?
Bonfire, yeah.
They used to have one.
Let me see, let me go into our events calendar and see if we have anything in there for our barberry dumpster.
Looking at that, there was another one that I had
So make a
under
big difference, and I
Gene,
do
Tyler,
that.
and Brian.
Oh, heard about it,
Oh, okay.
dating a line. I get to hear all of it.
So it looks like we have our garlic mustard dumpster from May 1st to June 1st. I think our barberry dumpster usually corresponds with that if we're gonna have one. Worst case scenario, we could always throw barberry in the garlic mustard dumpster. So I would say the month of May.
Us to have it as an agenda item.
So agenda item in March or April.
All right, so we'll make it a March agenda. And then the other one that was related to that was plan and conduct educational program and field day for invasive species, including barberry, for community and adjacent landowners. Is that something?
After the ISN is doing it, and I have the date, but you can just take that off the list because I coordinated with the ISN and the near Far Center. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make the date so she's gonna present all about invasives and landscaping. I or Tyler, or if there's someone from invasive species that could just talk about then what happens when these things spread into the parks and how you're planting it here and we're removing it here. So I think I'll be able to make it and just, what is the date?
Well,
This one.
one I don't know. I just know that we talked about it. We talked about how important it was. We talked about some I don't know what terminology we use, but some scare signage, probably not the right words. But I mean, what about promoting this thing? Getting people to go to it. I mean, to me, there's a lot more than the date. There's getting people to actually attend and do something.
Well, so the date that the far, I mean, it could be run more than once, and Shelley said that she would come back in the summer. But they are, when I talked to Faye Batke, she chose the date of February 20th. There's not a lot of people here on February 20th as compared to the summer, but it might be a good dry run. Just to have it here. So February 20th is the date. It's not really a collaboration with parks. It's really just that they picked up my idea.
And
What
so
date
that's-
is it?
February 20th.
Invasive species for the township, isn't that Cindy?
Well, the invasive species committee is really more focused on
Water.
the water. So Shelley is coming to present to near and far friends on
the
that
20th.
date. Okay.
Yes. And then we can book another date if we want to. I was happy to just get one of them booked, so.
And I believe Near and Far Friends is only in the fall and winter. I don't think it's all year round.
Well, I wasn't saying that we could do another one. Shelley would work with us. We could also run one. I just wanted to see how this one went before I. You know,
So
apparently do have, the one thing is that they do hope to have a donation or something, she said. And I don't know that
Shelley does or near and far friends?
Shelley does.
Yeah.
I mean, we can put out a donation jar or something. But anyway, so I did work on that. Bottom line is we have one date set, and when we work on our summer schedule, after I see how this one goes, then we'll plan it. Another one if we think it's worthwhile.
Last month, I thought we spent an extensive amount of time discussing how important it would be to do these educational programs and we talked about a field day for invasive species.
We've done that before. We
Mhm.
could do that again. We've done a walk through North Point Park with it. It's kind of funny. We're walking through North Point Park, pointing out all the invasive species. We've done it before. I don't know, Tyler, would you did Josh do that, or I thought you did it?
I think I've done
I
one.
think you did it. And it was good. Now, I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying that I'm working on it.
But what about promoting it? What are we doing to promote it? Just part of our regular events promotions?
Well, the one that hasn't been set yet, yes, it would be the same, it would be just another event.
Okay, so we'll do so promoted like all of the other events.
Yeah.
And
mean,
when should we
motion-
put this on
For-
the agenda for next discussion? After
Yeah.
February?
Yeah, well, yeah, because Gene and I will be working on the whole schedule.
All right, so I'm gonna make that a March discussion item. Okay, is everybody locked in January 7th for our survey review and 5-year plan discussion?
Yes.
Great,
Yes.
great. Okay,
What time is that? Same. Oh, okay.
8:30 to 11 at the township, and that's been blocked. Okay, another thing we talked about last time, and I actually have it on the agenda down below, but I'll bring it up now in case we're not done before Rick has to leave. We're going to set up a calendar that has placeholders for all upcoming grant applications so that we don't get last minute notifications and have to scramble and that sort of thing, that we actually put a plan together. And since Rick has been doing a lot of work with respect to that, he's going to do the initial drafts for us. We talked about that while we were waiting to get started with the meeting. And then, we'll present that to the group, and, the whole idea being, let's be ready for them as opposed to the last minute. Next item is committee members. I need all budget items that you want for 12/31 in the operational budget, not CapEx. We'll talk about CapEx on January 7th, but the operational stuff. Michelle's already given me her input for the events. But if you guys have anything that you think we should be doing operationally, that's professional services, that's contract services, that's um, um, what do you call it, maintenance and that sort of thing. Just let me know that that it would have to be something that we have done or we're doing more than we've done in the past. One item I can think of right now is we've talked about Mariah has been walking and cleaning the dog park, and we've approved her through the end of this month. But are we going to approve her going further? And I think, one of the things we need to think about is the thing that Michelle brought up last month about, are the things that we're doing serving the most of the community? And I think, like, as far as the Mariah thing is concerned, we should probably look at the survey to see how many people are using the parks in the winter months. So anyway, just budget items, get them to me by the end of the month.
Hey, Beck,
Yeah.
what about, for lack of a better word, like exploratory stuff, like a placeholder? We don't know what projects we're going to do, and we're waiting for the survey review, but like a professional services, kind of like what we did with Gordy Fraser. We spent 15,000. What do you
Right.
think about?
Absolutely. We always include that in the budget. And, my recollection is it was 15 last year. And my thought, because really professional services is closely aligned to CapEx because it's the upfront part of CapEx.
Exactly.
We'll want to talk about that during our January 7th meeting. And I think, given the things that we have on the plate right now, that we should up that to probably $30,000, and because we got two potentially major projects. So that was my initial thought, but we'll talk about that at the January 7th meeting, and it falls into the category of professional services.
Thank you.
Okay, one. Go ahead.
You already have invasive species treatments on that budget. I think we talked about that at the last meeting.
Yeah, I believe that we said we're going to ask for a budget of well, I have it right in front of me. I put that up there. So let me look at project costs and potential funds and wish list. Let me move you guys to the other screen. Invasive species, estimated cost $5,000, and then we were going to reduce that or explain to the board that it will be sort of a descending amount once we get our arms around it. But are we willing to commit to $5,000? So that was how it was going to go into the budget. Is that the way that you recall it to be?
I just remembered thinking that we would want like a standing annual amount that, we request 5,000 and we pick away at things every year.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah.
All right. Other items. We know that I'm working on the website and I'm waiting for the new website. We've talked about grant writers. I still have not spoken to the person that does Port St. Lucie, but we've talked to the guy from Traverse City and the guy from Manistee. Gene to work with Tyler to organize a volunteer day for Carden Park to remove new vegetation. Rather than have this as an assignment, let's make this a calendar item if Gene and Tyler still believe that it's appropriate. This is Gene work with Tyler to organize a volunteer day for Carden Park to remove new vegetation while preserving plants from last year, or it will be 2 years ago now. Is that valid? Should we keep doing that?
Wouldn't that just fall under our normal parks cleanup day?
We've never had Carden as part of that, but we certainly can add that.
Yeah.
And this would be I think my first time hearing of doing something at Carden. So what is the date for that?
The date's not set, but usually
Okay.
in May.
Yeah, I'll look just a sec. I can give you a tentative.
Is that a volunteer event?
Yeah, it's a volunteer event. It will most likely be either the May 9th or May 16th. And we've expanded it now to Glen Park, Langland and North Point, but we could add Cardin.
Do we have enough volunteers to do that?
We did last year. I mean, I think we would have enough. I could try to drum up more people for Cardin.
Well, Tyler, how big is the beast at Cardin? I mean, how much work is that going to take to clear
Well,
the invasives and preserve the new plants?
I mean, that's a tricky question. I feel like that one, because what do you normally do on your other cleanups? 'Cause it's not,
All kinds of stuff, move cages, move fire pits, pull weeds,
because it's not just pulling weeds at Carton.
Oh.
You've got shrubs that have resprouted and, um,
It sounds like
I'll-
maybe Tyler and I should have
Yeah,
a
we'll-
conversation to see how we could make this work. Whether we need a separate day, another volunteer event, or whether we can make it part of that one.
yeah, and I'll wait for the snow to clear
Yeah.
and I'll put something on my calendar for April to
Okay.
take some time to go out there and look at the site.
And there's like several like dead or dying poplar trees that are like, they're mowing around them and I'm like, I was there, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
And those are not good ones to be dead. up high.
Yeah. and we talked about that
Oh,
before
okay.
too, when we were doing stuff at Cardin, because I think the reason they're dying is whoever was mowing out there kept hitting them.
Beating into them.
Yeah,
Oh
Well,
my God, he was
dead
so
now.
bad. That guy was so bad. He was a volunteer and he's a sweet old man, but oh my God.
But that's the reason why we paid to have those rubber rims put around there, and we also now hire somebody to mow it itself. So this has been going on for a few years, and like I said, these items here that I'm going through are prior to November, so they've happened sometime in the past. But we did spend time talking about how we went through the effort to go clean out all of that invasive species, which is a big deal, and plant the new things. But we don't want it to get away from us. So if that's okay, if Gene and Tyler can get together, if we put it on the April agenda, that will really be too late for a 5/9 or 5/16 cleanup and kind of force it to be a separate issue, won't it?
yeah, well, I also should backtrack and preface this, because I've not been very good, but I'll be off probably for an extended period of time, with Kendra due March 1st. So I'll be taking some time off work. The other aspect of that too is I don't know what my role will be at the conservation district. I put in for the executive director position, so my scope of work might change pretty drastically. I don't know the answer on that yet, but as soon as I have some answers, but likely I will not be here for March or April.
So let me ask this: if we put this back to May, are we running the risk of actually letting it get away from us, or can we just move it to May and we'll be fine?
You can, I mean,
Use the professional guy to go
Yeah,
do it this year.
and that would be something that I would want to consider depending on the status of it. I mean, if it was a simple cleanup, like we're, pulling some garlic mustard or something that is there, or easy weeds, or, trying to ensure that the native plants are still thriving, that would be one thing. But as far as controlling the shrubs, I think that's a contracted service, and that can happen in the fall. Doesn't have to happen in the spring.
So what we could say then is our next hurdle is to get the board to give us the $5,000, and then we as a team will decide where we're going to spend that money, and Cardin will be among one of those. Is that all right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think part of the Schillinger plan too was to prioritize some of the areas, and I think Cardin is one of the lower priorities due to the infestation and the surrounding infestations. So the focus for the contractual service was Glen Park.
But couldn't you elevate just that patch to a higher position?
We could,
I would think that you would want to.
Yeah.
Considering we have assets invested there.
yeah. I mean, we definitely, with the native plants planted those first few years, you do want to stay on top of it and make sure that they, you know, can survive to a mature, age. So it's something to look at, and I'll try to, when I have time and I can actually see the ground, get out there and look. But yeah, that might not be until May. And a lot of your herbaceous plugs that you planted, you're not gonna see until June anyway, so.
That's true.
To a May item, and I'm going to remove it. We'll make it an agenda item, and it will fall under the broad category of invasive species. But I'll make sure that we keep it on as a discussion item. Next item was a bit to attain a multi-year contract for the Langland ADA walkway, but we talked about that. We talked about buying a sweeper and such, and I have this on the agenda as well. But I did want to mention, and Jean, you can pipe in too. Jean had some concerns about her and Mariah's ability to manage a piece of equipment like the one that we talked about last month. So at this point, I really don't know that we're fully resolved on where we're going on Langland, because I thought we kind of decided to get this piece of equipment, but then we're going to have to figure out who's going to actually do it. Jean, am I quoting you correctly, or do you want to add to that? Or
Well, and where are we going to store it? There's very limited storage in the bathroom. And there is a serious sand issue in the north pathway, which I let you know that this is a new serious issue. It just anytime we get a big blow, it's filling up with like a foot of sand on that pathway. And I don't think it's going to be any different in the summer. We're not taking care of it now because it doesn't make any sense in the winter. But that is something and it cost us $400 and some odd to get it cleared out. Only to have it blown off in like 3 weeks.
well, we've talked about this over the years. I mean, Langland is our most popular beach, and there's nothing that we can do to stop the sand. And in the springtime, it's a major expense to plow all that out. And then we're at the mercy of the wind. And I just don't know that we have any other alternatives.
Maybe we hire a person that can use the equipment? Is that gonna be cheaper than just hiring the contractor outright? Because if you own the equipment, then you maintain the equipment, you store the equipment. What was I didn't, Matt just said.
Well,
it was
the
very
guy
expensive.
he
What's the
wanted-
quote?
Lot of I mean, it wasn't as thousands and a multi-year contract, because he was gonna buy the piece of equipment, and I mean, we looked up the equipment and it's really not that expensive. It's a couple thousand
What
bucks.
was the quote? From Anthony's?
Well, there is no quote. He found a piece of used equipment that he said would cost him $3,700. So that's about $1,000 more than the equipment that we looked at. So, we'd have to do an apples to apples comparison. And then they just clean it at their hourly rate, which is, the contract that we're going to continue with them. In the springtime, they use their big machinery to clear it out. And during the summer, they would use this. So to me, that's the question is, do we tell them to sharpen their pencil, find a different equipment, prove to us why their equipment is more efficient than the equipment that we're looking at? Because right now, I mean, I don't know that I feel comfortable adding a third employee.
Here's my perspective. That Langland walkway is not only legally required because of the initial grants, it is also the number one thing we get positive feedback on. I think we throw everything we've got at it. Being prudent with if we can get the same thing. I don't understand why we are still here at this point, why we haven't just hired someone to do it, because, I don't know. I guess the survey would talk about whether people are happy with the maintenance or not, but we have a legal obligation to have ADA accessibility. It is not ADA accessible when it's covered in sand.
There's no question that we should do it. The question is how.
But we don't have the employee. We don't have a place to store it. It seems clear to me. And I guess I'm not usually this forthright with something like this, but we just need to get this done. We can't sweep it under the sand.
Oh,
And
you're
kicking it
funny.
down.
Jean, go ahead.
I'm just saying that I am leaving in to go to my next obligation. And so if there's
Okay.
anything else that you need, let me know later. All right.
Well, where are we on storage solutions?
Oh, I have we are on a list for Bear Lake storage for April 1st for $80 a month.
Okay. And that
Because
works for everybody.
we don't need to get the stuff out of my summer place, and I don't want to do it in the wintertime anyway, until April 1st, which is when we open it back up. And Austin seemed to think that he could give us a storage unit as of April 1st. So we're on the list.
The month. Okay. Thank you, Gene.
All right, bye guys.
Happy holidays, Gene.
Same to you.
All right. So let me go back to the other subject. Um, uh, Alternative one is to go back to Anthony's and ask them for a detailed um, proposal. And alternative two is to buy equipment and either hire a different person than the person that we have right now, someone who can handle the machinery. I don't think adding a third person is a viable alternative, but if somebody does, I don't want to steer this in one direction. Well, I agree with Michelle. We have to make this happen. So it's just a matter of which way are we going to go?
Do we take a vote?
Do we have enough people to vote? My concern is that we keep going back over it. We really should just hire at this point.
Well,
And
Chelsea, you have to understand that I can't do anything without board approval. And
of
oftentimes
course,
getting board approval is not as easy as going, asking a question and getting a yes or no. It oftentimes takes extended periods of time. And right
sure,
now, what I need to do is if we decide that we are going to we're going to propose to the board that we're going to buy a piece of equipment and hire somebody different or hire somebody in addition, we need to make that decision right now, and I'll go to the board and ask, or we can go back to Anthony's. Does anybody have a strong feeling one way or another that no, it must be our equipment, we shouldn't be dealing with Anthony's, or should we do, what do you think?
My
Well, I
strong
have one-
opinion is we go with Anthony's. I think I made that
I
clear.
mean, should we just present both of those options to the board?
Here's my perspective, if I could.
Board's decision?
If we buy a piece of equipment, then that's another maintenance item that we need to figure out how to take care of also, just FYI.
Well, the other issue is, now we don't have anybody that can work it. You know what I mean? I was thinking it'd be easy to get something, but if we can get something easy, yeah, no big deal, but then there's nobody to do it, and the people we have that are currently doing the job that would not be able to run it, then I guess, in my opinion, we punt and go with Anthony's, I guess. And it's not, I mean, you can always say, well, Anthony's has been doing it and now they're charging us $20,000, whatever, and we could go back and revisit it in the future if we need to, but it definitely needs it's something that needs to get done, and it has to get done, I would say, if not weekly, every other week or something, because once the wind starts blowing and you let it build up too long, then it's a real huge pain in the ass. So if it was something that Anthony's could say, yep, we're gonna charge you this amount of money or our rate, and we are gonna inspect that walkway weekly during the something between Memorial Day and Labor Day, okay,
All right, so
Everybody's on board, I think.
yeah, and I also think, the Portage Point Summer Resort Corporation, which I'm also on that board, we're investigating, looking at similar types of walkway to make the Sunset House that we take care of an ADA compliant thing, because right now we have these things called Moby mats that you really can't use as an ADA approved walkway. So if that happens and we are able to get that walkway, we would also probably wanna contract with the same, people or whoever ends up cleaning it. So maybe, the economies of scale will prevail and it'll be a better rate for everybody. I don't know. We're still investigating that, but it's a potential thing that could happen.
Got an action item. I'll get a firm bid from Anthony's and we'll move forward from there.
Yeah, just to maybe see if they can tighten their belt a little bit, you know.
Vic, do you want an official vote?
Don't think we need an official vote because, I mean, if we all, is there anybody that's in disagreement?
With what? With
The
going with
sleeper deal.
Anthony's?
Getting a firm proposal from Anthony's, which will likely require a multi-year contract, including a adjustment for inflation, so that he can justify going out and buying the equipment. So I'm going to say, Anthony's, I want a 3-year proposal of what it's going to take to do this. And as Matt said, the early part of the year, they do it with a bulldozer. And then
Yeah.
once the original one is done, then they'll do it on a weekly or event-based schedule. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll bring their proposal back to the group and we'll decide whether we want to go forward with it.
Sounds good.
Okay. Brian and Sherry, neither were there, so I'll bring that up. And then as far as the ongoing, Chelsea, for the discussion about how things don't happen quickly, the ongoing discussion about mapping solutions at the last board meeting. Sorry, my son. At the last board meeting, I was told that it wasn't really that important that we move this quickly on it, which was rather disappointing to me. But I contacted Katie in planning, and she has told me that she can work with me. So right now I'm moving away from Beckett and Rader, who I've left the voicemail for, and they never responded to my voicemail. And I'll see if I can't get Katie to help us with a mapping solution. Michelle, I did get the information that you provided from Knuckles North, which was primarily a graphic design as opposed to a mapping solution. But I think that Katie was enthusiastic enough that I think she can put it together for us. So.
Okay, it was more than just that one. You got the email that had a whole list of them?
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
But in her note, she said these are primarily graphic design people, not mapping people, but maybe they could help you. And since I got that note, I spoke to Katie, who said, I'm quite comfortable we can help you.
Yeah, actually, the original one, she was only referring to that original person that I inquired about a specific person, and that person was the wrong one. But the rest of the list were actual mapping people.
Maybe you could resend that to me, because that wasn't how I read it, but if you could resend that to me, I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
All right, and then
I don't want to say that Katie isn't the best option.
We also were to schedule a session with the board, but I think let's defer that until the January 7th meeting. And as I followed up with Dave, and we still do not have a village member for the board, so I will again follow up on that. Okay, that's the prior month assignments. Is there any report on Village Township events or?
I do have a report. I do have a report. In the last couple of weeks, I attended 2 different meetings through M Parks. One of them was a program meeting at which I got really great ideas for winter activities. Since that's something that we're very low on, and I will talk with Jean and we'll try and get them in for early 2027. But very interestingly, I attended a legislative directed spending item seminar. And so that's what I normally hear it called an earmark, and how Parks and Rec Department would go about applying for one of these. Very interesting. I think 1 hour was not nearly enough to spend learning about it, but the average, they have 100 million to spend, up to 100 million to spend. The average grant it's not a grant. It's an earmark is about 1 million. So we learned about a couple other Parks and Rec departments that have received them. There was a state representative who is one that guides people through them. It was very interesting. So I don't know who wants to hear about it, but I did attend that.
Is that okay? So you call it an earmark rather than a grant. Is there like a due date? Is it every year that this happens?
So it does happen every year. The interesting thing is because it's tied to the state of Michigan budget, you don't know exactly when it's going to be awarded, but the cycle, if you will, begins in January. There were a lot of details, and I do have the notes from it. The criteria overall is it needs to have statewide or regional relevance. It has to have a clear local benefit, and it has to have broad community support. So we could definitely consider that possibly for the wetlands, or something like that. But it's one where the basic thing that I took away from it at this point, and Rick might already be doing this, but the number one thing is you build a relationship with your state representative, and then basically they go to battle for you during the state budgeting. So they said, well, before you have the project, you should be building this relationship and meeting with them and talking about your hopes and dreams and aspirations. And then eventually, when you have something put together in January, it has to be posted on the state website for at least 40 days. But the representative that was in the meeting said that, no, you really need to get it out there in January. And then it eventually gets voted on with the rest of the state of Michigan budget.
Is there
and
a
they
place?
vote on something big, it's like and then they call that earmark.
I said
Okay.
that, yeah, I normally
Pork.
hear it called, right, or something like that.
That's cool. We could be part of the pork.
But it was really interesting to learn about, and I don't know, like I said, Rick has done a lot of work on grants, maybe he already knew about this, but I found it to be a very beneficial hour.
Yeah.
And I would definitely dive more into it if people wanted me to, and, you know, connect with the people who were the presenters.
Is this a grant from the state?
It's not a grant, it's an earmark. It's direct spending item, meaning that it's a line item one time in the state budget. It's not considered a grant, although it feels like a grant, right? You get a lump sum of money. It is not something that is.
But you gotta apply for it, right? Or
Oh, yeah. There's a deep list of, there's a form you have to fill out, and you have to work with your representative.
Yeah, and you have to sweet talk your representative.
But it's big dollar money,
Yeah.
and it's real. They were talking about some of the projects that were completed with it.
I think we should add it to our list of,
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, grants or whatever. I don't know nothing about it. So I think we package all this up, because some of these projects we're looking at, if we go after them, we kind of exhaust the opportunity with that organization. They'll go grant another community. So the more pockets, and I don't know anything about it, but I'm just saying it doesn't hurt to add it to the list.
I think that's a good idea.
Add it to the folder.
Add it to the folder, and I can look more into it. And who knows our state rep? Do you know our state rep?
Not personally,
Okay, so-
I have no personal relationship with him or anything.
All right.
John
Well,
Molinar, yeah.
No.
I get his
I can't
newsletter
vote
every.
here. I'd be happy to
whatever.
reach out, but I can't vote here.
I just get him an email. Yeah.
He's pretty good at attending events. If you have something.
Well, that would be an interesting thing. We could actually invite him to an event directly. But anyway, we can work that out. I know we've got a lot more on the agenda. I just wanted to bring that up because it was a really
Yeah.
well worth.
Another way to skin the cat.
Yeah. So I'll do a deeper dive then. Thank you. I should also report that the history people, I know you guys are tired about hearing about this. This is our fifth year, but they are the two ladies that are working on the plaque are making good progress now. And so I just have to do my work and go knock on some more doors and make sure people will take the plaques. It's still kind of under Parks and Rec because the money is still with the township. That's it.
Output from the board meeting, other than what we talked about already. the North Point, Maria, 5 hours per week through the end of December. That's been approved. What's the feeling about her working further into the year, 5 hours per week?
I mean, if there's a need, I don't see why not. And the main thing is she's cleaning up the turds in, North Point. Is that what she's doing?
That's all she's doing.
Which I find it
I would
shocking
say,
that people just let their dog crap and they don't even.
oh
do
my
it.
gosh, it's so bad. I would say that in weather like this, she's not gonna have much work to do. So maybe it should be like up to 5 hours a week. You can pretty well tell if there's been people there by the tire tracks, whether there's been people. And in this weather, remember I said there would be a point at which it would just like basically stop. And,
Well, that's my question. Are we at that point yet?
well, I mean, with the weather supposed to warm up, it's really hard to predict. When weather's like this, it's very low use. If it suddenly warms up and it's dog walking weather, then they're right back out there. But, I guess.
And do we have any signs like, and I know there's a dog
Yes,
potty bag thing or whatever, but
yes, there's fine.
I don't know.
On leash, pick up your dog, pick up after your,
And we provide the
People
actual
don't
thing to.
no,
Yeah.
people don't read, so. But
They
I
don't
mean,
really care,
I don't wanna overspend money.
yeah.
I would say that it would be something that, we should change the wording, not 5 hours a week, but like up to 5 hours a week, so maybe.
Yeah, if you get a big thaw, you can go find them, like a treasure hunt.
Well, but they're not out there walking their dogs in weather like this.
Yeah.
I'm not even walking, and I'm pretty hardcore. I didn't walk my dog.
Well, I'll give you one example. This big frost the last couple of days, I was unable to even clean up the poop in the backyard because it was still frozen and it just broke apart. So if we're spending some time on this, I personally don't feel like it's money that needs to be spent. Just being the devil's advocate about it at this point of saving resources. But if we're going to potentially lose an employee based on this, then I think that we should consider it. Yeah, otherwise, I'm
We're
not.
not, we're not going to lose an
continuing
employee.
this
And
winter.
the question is, it's not a matter of, how much poop there is. It's the amount of time that it takes to walk the place. So, I mean, does it take 5 hours to walk the thing two times a week?
No, no, she wouldn't even need to walk the whole thing, no.
No, it's just the cement part is what, well, Andrew, that's what my son uses is the paved.
Yeah, I would say 80% to 85% of it is the paved area, and what I'm saying is you could pull in there and you discern whether you need to walk the park or not. That's why I'm saying it could be 15 minutes 1 week, because look outside, it's not a good week.
Yeah, maybe just say up, like you say, up to 5 hours for the foreseeable future until it's dog walking season again and snow melts.
Matt, that's what I tell the board. What do we tell Maria?
Same thing.
Well, okay, but are we telling her that she should not walk it if there aren't snow tracks in the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, use her discretion. If it looks like people have been there, check it out. If not, don't worry about it.
All right, I'll have that discussion with Jean.
Worst case, somebody steps on a frozen turd.
Yeah, I mean, that's my view of the whole thing is, are we spending money that we need to be spending?
No, not right now.
Right.
I mean, maybe I'm not coming off.
I'm just saying, I would just say leave it on the table in case, like how we just had a big thaw and it rained and everything was
Yeah.
completely clear. Then she can say, oh, I could go look at the park, and then you say, ooh, look at all the poo, and I can go clean it up, and maybe it takes you 2 hours. If we say, no, don't do it anymore, then it's done. But if you say, hey, on occasion, with weather permitting and whatever else, go check it out, maybe once or twice a month, and that way you have the hours in the bank, that way you don't have to have another meeting about it, you can just, I mean, we gotta think if people have a little bit of common sense and discretion, that they can pull up there and look and see if there's been tire tracks there or not, or it's thawed out, and drive up there and say, you know what, today is a good turd day, I'm gonna go look, or whatever, I don't know.
Just
I mean,
a thought outside the box is to move on, January, February, March. or December, January, February, whatever it is, could you think, would we consider then suggesting to the board to do 5 hours per month instead of 5 hours per week, up to 5 hours per month
Yeah.
in the winter hours, winter months?
Okay, I like that idea. And Matt, since you so articulately stated how we're going to talk to Mariah, will you do that?
I can.
All right, you got an assignment, Mr. Board Member.
All right.
Communicate with Jean and Mariah what
Hey,
Mariah's
when
responsibilities
it
are.
comes to turds, I'm very articulate.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, so here's a question that I want to pose that is serious discussion. We have talked about submitting for a permit to Eagle to use mechanical devices to clear the sand at Langland, and we have been refused in the past. In fact, we have a document that's several years old that says the only thing that we can do is we can use a shovel outside of the walkway infrastructure, and in using that shovel to remove sand, if it has any impact to sand that is more than 5 feet away, we have to stop, and we cannot use any mechanical device to actually remove the sand. And when we had our new Eagle guy come visit us last year on this subject, he went so far as to say, you can't even do that because that is over 5 years old and you need to resubmit. So I have yet to do a request for a permit, because the reality is what we're doing out there right now is something that we really don't have authority to do. So we should go get a permit. I have not had time to do that. Is there
Is he
anybody?
talking about the parking lot too?
No, he's talking about any sand that is on the exterior of our walkways, the sand that's crushing our walkway on the north and south. We are not allowed to do anything other than get a shovel and remove 1 foot next to it, and only if that 1 foot does not impact sand up to 5 feet away. So in other words, as you dig down,
Yeah,
if
it
the
goes
sand
backwards.
5 feet away starts moving, you must stop.
Jeez. Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
and Dave and Ed's view is we need to go forward with a permit request, and in the event they give us the response that we would expect, we need to take that physical response and go to the legislators and say
fight
this
it.
is not
Yeah.
reasonable.
Right,
So,
because if you were to dig a exact 1 foot gap between the thing, the sand and the structure that's getting squished, the sand in about, depending if it's windy or not, will be back in the 1 foot hole within about 3 days. So it's like, and then you spent all this time trying to dig it by hand. That's somebody that got a position and a degree that's worried about absolute nothing. And here we're trying to make this thing accessible for the community and people who are handicapped or not able to walk or, get down there. And so we're trying to provide a safe way to get to the beach. And we've received funding on the fact that we're making it safe to get down there. And then on the other hand, we got some guy telling us, oh, you can't do that. It's just stupid. And so if they tell us that, then we need to take it up with the legislature and override them and go get a permit or something that makes common sense, which is not common, but we would try to do that. And I would be all for fighting that and overriding the dune police.
So the steps to make that happen are, and by the way, the people that gave us the funding for that thing that requires that we keep it ADA,
Right.
that person met with the sand master and agreed with the sand master that we should probably just abandon the north walkway and use the south one. So we've been down this road a lot. My question is this: do we have somebody who has the time to work on a permit with Eagle to allow us to do a mechanical removal. And it is not an easy thing to do, but it's kind of like writing a grant. You have to go in and answer all their silly questions and that sort of thing. And this was on my plate, and honestly, I just don't have time to do it and do the other things that I have to do. And then if we do that, they are going to come and visit, and they are going to see that we are in violation because we are using mechanical stuff to push sand back on the beach in the springtime, and that is not allowed. So it's a sort of a double-edged sword. I mean, if we're going to go down this road, we need to make the decision. We're going to do it, and we're going to fight the battle all along the way. And that's why this has been going on for 30 years. So do we go forward?
Vic, before we leap over the cliff, would it be advisable to check with maybe some other communities along the lake shore that have beach access and they're trying to provide a nice way for the public to get to the beach and not trip and fall, and for older people?
You like Manistee?
Like Manistee, I mean, I'm talking from
Manistee is not critical dunes and high risk erosion. That's what makes us unique.
I'd go all the way north. Is there something?
And that's what I'm saying. You got 100 places between Ludington and Northport that are available, and they have walkways and all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, I know they have that earmarked as critical dune, and I mean, my gosh, you gotta like use some percentage of common sense and say, listen, this has been an existing walkway for however 35, 50, whatever years. And we are only seeking to maintain it, not build onto it or make it bigger or go farther up the dune. We're just looking to maintain what we have.
So
And in order to maintain what we have, here's what we need to do.
I don't know if anybody else has done this, but I was stuck here for 4 days once, and I went through the files, and the township actually went to the Michigan Supreme Court about this and lost. So it's almost impossible. I don't even know if the legislature could do anything.
Mhm.
How long ago was that they lost?
80s.
80s. I mean, I guess you could fight the battle again, but I mean, they took it all the way, and there's precedent now that I think you're gonna lose. Even
I think the comment that Vic, you made, the guy or whoever said, "We'll just close it down because you got other access." If they're that hard on it,
here's what's gonna happen. That you close the north, a big dune will eventually build up. Then that same process that took the north will go to the south.
So a little bit more background. When we had fully functioning people counters, the south access is by far the most popular only during the months of March and April, when fishermen are going to the pier. And as soon as it becomes warm, the north is by far the most important access, like 80/20. So there's no friggin' way we're going to abandon the north. And what we've been, because of these discussions, which have been going on and on and on and on, I've decided that we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to clear it out. We're going to have it cleared out. And that's just the way this is going to run. And that's the way our predecessors, including, well, I won't name names, but the people that have been responsible for maintenance at Langland Park have done this for the last many years. I'm okay at any way we go, but remember, my first question was, do we have a volunteer? And if somebody wants to take this on, great. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing what we've been doing.
As a new person, I do not volunteer. And knowing some of the things I know, I'd say that we table this. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, and the only other reason that I bring it up
Okay.
is that the north access now has so much sand surrounding it that it's beginning to move inward, so much so that 2 years ago, Anthony could use a piece of equipment to clear it out that they can no longer use because it's actually moved in an inch or two and they can't fit it. So we're going to have damage to the infrastructure that DNR paid for, but DNR said after meeting with the sandmaster, use the south entrance. So there's no easy solutions to this problem.
And aren't we considering buying more of the ADA walkway to extend down from the south entrance and connect to the north entrance?
It is one of the things that will be part of the discussion on January 7th.
Okay, and people really like that, don't they?
People may change their habits if we maintain that south entrance and it's beautifully kept clean.
Are they, well, here's the thing, are they saying that we can maintain the south entrance and use mechanical equipment to clean that, or are they just gonna eventually just block everything off?
Well, again, the clearing that we do on the sand portion of the south and the north is using the bulldozer, and there's no reason that we can't do that. What I'm talking about is the infrastructure. And so on the south end, your infrastructure are those railroad ties and then the gazebo area. And that falls under the same kind of jurisdiction we're talking about on the north side. That right now, those railroad ties are strong enough that they're holding it back. Within the gazebo area, there's a little bit of, I think, potential damage like we're seeing on the north end as well. So, again, the sand area.
The DNR saying just forget it, we paid for this thing, but just abandon it?
I get you the email if you want. She suggested that we move to the south end.
Huh, interesting, okay. Well,
I think that's just DNR covering themselves because they didn't, they approved something that violated critical doom law.
Right.
oh, so I was just saying, would we be able to get a permit to repair our damaged walkway, or no, probably not?
We could go back and ask for a grant to have a whole new thing done.
No.
That was tongue in cheek. All right, so I don't want to spend a great deal of time on this. This is a problem that we've had for many, many years. I don't have any volunteers, so I'm going to
I'd
move
say
forward.
table it for later.
Yeah. I don't have any answer on the water testing at this point. I think it was completed. I've spoken to Jennifer about it, and I don't recall the conversation, so I'll follow up on that. The grant calendar we've talked about. Rick's going to take a stab at that. The meeting schedule for next year is the last Friday of every month except for November, which is now November 20th, and for December, which is December 18th. So that's our schedule for next year. Rick's going to work on the grant calendar. And then, depending upon what Michelle finds out, we may add the earmark thing to that as well. But our goal is to have a calendar that shows all the potentials so that we're working ahead of schedule as opposed behind it.
We need to get an earmark for Langland. So the legislature votes on it that we can improve it. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Okay, Michelle, you just got an assignment.
What?
You're gonna sweet talk our legislature to let us bulldoze Langland Park down to the beach.
I can't vote here. I can't do it.
I'm just being facetious.
Final thing that I have on the agenda is the Pierport properties, and it was I think very exciting that the board quickly decided to support moving forward with investigating if we could do something to make the acquisition of one of those properties. There was one dissenting vote on the board, and there was another vote that said move forward only under the condition you're not obligating the township to anything. And there's been quick movement and discussions with other funding agencies. And as you probably all know, there's a public notice out there that there will be a meeting today on this subject, encouraging the public to provide input. And then once that input has been provided, the board will go in closed session. So I don't really have anything else to say other than you can take a look at the board website and you'll see there's a special meeting today. And if any of you are in town, I would encourage you to go and voice your opinions of support or not. And then once I hear the results from either Mr. Meister or Mr. Kiefer, we'll keep you guys informed. And that's all I got, unless anybody's got anything else.
Vic, are you going to be sending out updates on the survey prior to the 7th?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought about doing that this morning, but I knew everybody wouldn't have a chance. And as the survey, I believe that I sent you, we had 281 responses. We're now at 302. And
Yay.
Hey, Vic,
yeah,
I have recently, as of last night, got the green light to send out some information to all the members of the Portage Point Park Summer Resort Corporation, which I'm on that board too, which is like 275, I think, families. Would that be something you would be interested in? I could maybe piggyback something about the Parks and Rec survey if that's
We can put it
something.
in last.
Was it already,
Roger
it
put it
was
in.
already in
Yeah, I
there?
put
Okay,
it in.
all right, I won't bother with it again. Okay.
but that's a good question about the PLA. Jean has got something going out to PLA on the 15th of January. And so she asked me, when does it close? Well, it doesn't close, really. It's when are we going to take a look at the results and make a recommendation to the board? And given the fact that the second one hasn't gone out yet, my feeling is let's just go ahead and have her send it out, and we may take a little bit longer in making our recommendation to the board.
Okay.
Anybody disagree with sending it out to PLA?
Who's writing it?
Well, I mean, it could be as simple as what in the
Already
PLA
have.
newsletter, there's a heading, just attached or here is the URL, here is the
This is Chelsea. I'd be happy to contact Jean. She reached out to me and asked me to type up something regarding the tour de trees. And I submitted that to her, just a little paragraph with a photo and some thank yous to who participated. So I'd be happy to reach out to Jean and ask her if she could add the URL, just a little blurb into the PLA.
do is I will send to you and to Jean the QR code
QR,
and
okay.
and the URL.
Well,
I'll send you the flyer, okay, and then you can grab it off that.
Or just put the flyer
okay. I'll forward and work with Jean real quick. That's just an email.
Okay.
I can do that versus the Supreme Court kind of thing regarding the other volunteering stuff.
All right, so I will right now get that to you, Chelsea, and to Jean. Is there anything else?
I have one item.
Okay.
Vic, we talked before, we're going to get that stuff to post it on the website, township website for the survey, but the trails team is having a public meeting on the 6th from 4 to 7. It's an open house at the Township Hall. If anybody's in town, we'd appreciate you come by and just check it out and see what's there and support the initiative.
Should we put a notification on our website, because everybody that has clicked the notification thing, which is like 250 people, if I put something out there, they'll get notified.
That's that piece I'm going to send you that I talked to you before the meeting about.
Okay, great.
It's got a survey, and it's also on Onekama Connections. Gene posted it yesterday. And if everybody could take time to do that, take the survey, we greatly appreciate it, Matt and I.
Is that also going into the PLA?
Yeah, I talked to Gene about it prior to the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Rick, just to cover ourselves, anything you send to them, please send to me at the same time, because we get our official communication is the website. So it really ought not go out on social media without it being out on our website.
Will do, Vic. Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you. Anything else?
I don't know if we're going to see Tyler again, but congratulations. I hope everything goes well with your new family member.
Thank you. Should be around for January and most of February.
Great. Yeah, because we're going to need you part of the discussions for the capital plan and that sort of thing. Well, we need everybody.
Just bring the baby around.
Like
the
it is,
baby
Vic.
the
We
whole
still
time.
need you, Tyler.
Doesn't it feel great to be wanted?
It
We
does.
got all kinds of babysitters here.
No.
No,
Nope.
I'm definitely a babysitter.
I am not. I'm not good.
I went out and got all
Adjourn the
the,
meeting?
because I didn't have enough babies. Are we okay to close?
Yes,
I think-
at meeting adjourned at 9:54. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
holidays.
happy holidays.
Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you too.
Next year, wear your sweaters.
Yeah. I don't even have a Christmas.
I don't either.
Okay.
She sent me that
I'm
text
gonna give you
10 minutes before the meeting and I'm like,
Notice.
you should be very lucky.